Alright, if you're just listening to this, hang the fuck on. Because we are broadcasting. I texted my sister yesterday about the Trump match that I had.
Mm-hmm. Glad you didn't lose that.
Yeah, boy, am I glad I didn't fucking lose that, because that's pretty much what I still do. So, like, when I was talking about how things really don't change and have not changed in the MVWF, I wasn't fucking kidding. Because Brandon Bones is still a fucking punching bag whose main job is just to fucking put people over. That's it. That's what I do, right? I win a few of them here and there, and that's about it. It's about as good as it gets. But, you know...
Who's a better wrestler, Brandon Bones or Brandon Clones?
Brandon Bones by a fucking long shot, even though I'm 0-1 against Brandon Clones.
Of course.
Because that's of course that's what I'm going to say.
Of course.
Because fuck that guy. Not a fucking huge success was Brandon Clones. But, so during the off time and stuff, right? You know, I bought 2K13, I bought 2K14. They weren't great games. You know, 2K13 was so fucking obnoxious that when every match would start, first thing, whip into the corner, suplex off the top rope to the floor. Every single time. Like, way too big a bump to start with, you know, like, not even a punch. It's like, fuck, right? So, anyhow, oh yeah, did I bring that fucking gibber up? Where did I put that? Oh, it's down there.
Because the last guy I ever made in the GSW was a guy named Bronchar. And Bronchar was a, Guardians of the Galaxy, you know the bad guy, the blue guy?
Yep. Yondu?
No.
Ronan.
Ronan was a... What is his race called? They were the...
Chitauri? Was he the head of the Chitauri?
He wasn't a Chitauri. He was, Anyways, this guy was a warrior from them, and he was fucking awesome. His very first match, debut match,
yeah.
Bell rings, Irish whips a guy in the corner, puts him up on the top rope, does a brainbuster to the outside.
Nice.
And he proceeded to go undefeated and destroy everybody and everything that ever touched him.
Right.
But, you know, it just all fell apart because...
Right. Because the Starman thing didn't work out, from what I heard. The who hit Starman, or Starman hit somebody with a car or whatever.
Oh, that's right. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because the issue of the GSW has always come up, you know, and after living at my sister's house for a long time, you know, a bunch of her friends are fucking wrestling geeks too. So they'd hear all the fucking tales about the MVWF because, of course, I can't not talk about it. And so, particularly with this kid Crawford, Ryan Crawford, who Doyle knows through fucking jiu-jitsu class.
Weird.
What the fuck?
Small world.
But not unexpected, because Doyle knows everybody. And so I told him about it and told him, and that was kind of the impetus behind it. I was like, well, I mean, he's such a fuck, he'll watch. If he'll watch, I'll do it, right? Fuck, my phone's downstairs. Here, hold this.
Is this broadcasting?
Alright. So, I don't know where my phone is. Did I put it in the other pants?
Well, whoever just tried to call you, just call me. It's gonna be go out. Yeah. Yo. Go around to the left-hand side of the building, and there's like a porch, and you go in, and the door on the left is door number 2. Yeah. The door in front of you says number 1. We're number 2.
Right. All right, I'll do that later. So, so the MVWF starts, right? And of course, you remember where it left off at the end of ManchMania,
Yeah,
where
with
it
all
was-
the final champions
Yeah.
and everything.
Doyle was the forever champion.
Yeah.
Jeremy was the submissions champion. I don't remember who the fuck was tag champion, but it doesn't really matter anyway.
No, but wasn't Roland Party Kid? Didn't he end up with one of the belts? Who ended up with like the Six Gun City belt?
Skinny Wolf.
Smells like fucking weed in here.
What's up, man?
What's up, Slim?
What's up? How are you?
How you doing? Good, good. Fucking have a seat. Catching them up on everything that's happened in the MVWF since.
In the past 10 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been a while.
Yeah, well, I mean, there isn't much to say in those off years with those other games and stuff because really the only notable feud was a Cube little bitch ass feud. That was about it. They were the only guys that were any good on those fucking games. So fucking what? But so it starts off, and he's the I'm just Doyle. He's the fucking forever champion and stuff, right? Fucking Match Vegas, World's Heavyweight, Street Fight Champion, all the fucking words, all put together. And I have a couple of test matches. I'm testing out the broadcasting on YouTube and shit, and I'm trying it out, and I go, all right, I think I can fucking do this. Tournament, time for a champion. First match, right where we left off, Doyle versus Rock Holly. And what happens? Beats Doyle in 43 seconds. Like it was like a UFC fight. And he wanted to be Ric Flair. And he had the Flair hair and the knee pads down below his knees.
Full on Ashley Schaefer.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah, dude. It was Nature Boy.
Yeah.
Woo!
Huge entrance and all that shit. And then Rock Holly comes in and he goes, nothing has changed.
And obliterates.
Yeah.
Nice.
Rock Holly goes on to win the fucking tournament. He meets AJ in the finals and stuff, and it seems like the MVWF has some promise. But at that point, I hadn't quite figured out these games.
Where
though.
did you get a black and gold tracksuit?
eBay. It came from Japan. So fucking. What was I talking about? Here, hit this.
AJ.
All right. So AJ comes up short in a tournament, a first of many.
Yeah.
And Rock Holly is running his shit like he always does, right? And now all of this is going to seem like fucking small potatoes to you because, you had like 9 straight title defenses and stuff, but it's new stats, new lineage, all that
this
stuff.
whole phase 2 thing
Yeah.
is a completely different.
Yeah. And so now you can see the lines being divided between the old generation and the new generation. So you got on one side Rock Holly, Brandon Bones, Ron Awesome, the Skinny Wolf, Doyle, Whiteside, they're all there. To a lesser extent, Uppercut and Fisticuffs. Didn't really have much use for them through but they do make a few appearances here, and they are wrestling tonight.
Nice.
Anyhow, fucking. So the lines are divided and stuff, and now it's all new generation versus old generation, and so we're all just kind of shitting on each other. And Crawford seems to be the one because he's the one that was this was for. He's kind of getting the push at first, and he goes up against Rock Holly and he loses. And Skinny Wolf, I think, got a couple of title shots. He came up short. This was kind of like a Rock Holly call. Again, if you ever thought like I had like absolute power before, I had almost nothing close to that this time around. Because between competing with the game and competing with everyone else's desires, this was definitely a fucking more of a D&D sort of thing this time around. I was constantly in fucking negotiations for fucking matches on text and stuff like that. Because then again, back in the day, I didn't have a text.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother
I
world,
couldn't
yeah.
quite make just, have a conversation without having a conversation, Just give me what you need whenever the fucking mood occurs to you. And so most of this ends up leading up to Rock Holly eventually losing the belt to Crawford on like his 3rd try. Which then he immediately loses the belt to me. And the worst fucking thing that could possibly happen to my title reign happens without losing the belt. I run right into a tournament. Right? It's based on the G1 Climax in Japan that New Japan puts on every year. There's an A block, a B block, there's like 10 guys in each. There's a lot of fucking dudes, a lot of fucking events. At this point, I was doing a Wednesday and Sunday show, or Wednesday and Friday show, something like that, right? Like I was really fucking pushing, but I wasn't really staying around more than like 45, 50 minutes or some shit, because I wasn't trying to eat up everyone's fucking day. That didn't last forever, but during the tournament, it was fucking critical, And fucking Brandon Bones goes on a fucking run like you wouldn't believe, dude. Now, right before all of this happens, Bones gets on the fucking microphone and fires this kid, Enormous Genitals Kevin Welch. the drummer for King's Petition,
Yes.
right, currently, right? Every time you talk to Kevin, he is the world's biggest punching bag. He'll tell you this, right? Like, he's just having the worst fucking time. And Brandon Bones comes out there, you fucking suck! Yeah, you're not a good wrestler! Fuck you, die, right? Get out of my fucking federation. Bones is now neck and neck with Crawford, like the first 4 or 5 matches. He wins one in the A block, I win one in the B block, because of course I'm in the B block.
Yeah.
And gets to be about like maybe like the 4th or 5th match, and he wrestles Hector from the Spruce Street Butchers out of jail.
Who's, by the way, their jackets
Yeah.
are awesome.
Yeah, you like those?
Awesome. Just little things. The flowing of the fabric on a lot of the guys and the hair and stuff.
The
But
games have come a long way.
their jackets are impressive.
Yeah.
And the collision detection on that game is top
Yeah.
notch.
Especially with the strikes. Like
Yeah.
when people punch each other in the face, it looks like it hurts.
The little things like getting your foot caught in a rope and tripping over it just a little bit and
Yeah.
the rope moving.
Like I seen one reversal that a guy has done where a guy went to do like a leg sweep or something, and the guy just kind of hops up over it and goes nah nah nah, right? He like wags his finger at him and shit. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Who thought I didn't give that guy that move, you know? I don't know where that shit fucking comes from. Like a lot of the things in these fucking games. So fucking Crawford ends up taking a pile driver off the apron from Hector and right into the floor. It's just like, oh, that's fucking ruthless. He'd already been injured once prior when Rock Holly. If you look at the avatar on the channel, it's Rock Holly throwing Crawford in a power bomb like right into the edge of the ring, like head fucking first, like just awful, right? He had done it the week before to you too, which basically had ended your feud at that point,
Fuck him.
right? Yeah.
Fuck
I-
Robert.
I knew you'd be
beating
upset.
that kid up in real life like 400 times.
And that heat eventually did transfer over at some point or another. But Bones goes on this fucking tear and just starts tearing up. Undefeated. Fuck, I'm undefeated in this fucking tournament. And then, fucking someone decided to pull a fucking classic MVWF move. Cube. Kevin Welch came out when it came to wrestling. I was going to wrestle Cube in the B1 Climax, and it was Kevin underneath a fucking mask. And it was the only match I lost in the entire fucking tournament. I won the whole thing.
Do you know that Kevin Welch guy?
No.
Have you seen him wrestle?
Yes.
All right.
Punisher.
Yeah, yeah.
We put
Oh,
on an event.
he knows Kevin Welch pretty
That
well.
guy comes out. Like, that dude looks like a fucking pedophile. So he does kind of look like a pedophile. I'm like, do you know who that is? He's like, no. I'm like, is that like a real wrestler? He goes, no. It's like on my phone. Kevin Welch. And it got, like, the suggestions comes up, Kevin Welch, Merrimack, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Click on that. Pedophile. I'm like, holy shit. That's the same guy.
Let me just say that Kevin Welch is not actually a pedophile, and these are just purely speculation.
No, it wasn't the same guy.
Right. Oh, okay.
It wasn't him.
All right. Oh, you mean there's more than one?
Oh, yeah.
What are the
There's more than
chances? So, and again, he's been like this hard luck story, like all throughout season 1, because we're finishing season 3 now. And he comes back. That's basically the only match he wins of the fucking tournament. He fucking crashes and burns, so it doesn't really do anything for him. But ultimately, it builds to ManchMania, Crawford and me in the main event, half-hour Iron Man match, all those fucking things. We go 1-1, right? Fucking, it's like, fuck, you know? Because we'd fought a few times. I beat him for the belt. He was already fucking champion again, so he was probably like his second title defense at that point. So, big break, season 2 fucking starts. And shit just goes fucking crazy. Because I start planting seeds for this character, right? Doyle's having a match. I can't remember exactly who you were wrestling, but Pat runs out. Again, had a completely unremarkable season 1, didn't really do too much. Typical Pat, right? You know, I mean, he had, a brief fucking cup of coffee with the tag titles with him and Rich or some shit like that, if I remember. Like Knights of the Northern Lights or something like that. But he's not doing too good. And I'm fucking high, so take this away from me so I can catch my fucking self. But he goes, shit. Crawford's the champion. You know, Rock Holly doesn't appear like he's going to be in title contention, so things are kind of weird. And I don't want to give away a Brandon Bones Crawford match because we had this draw, right? So to me, like, that's like Hogan Warrior almost. Like, you don't want to fucking do it right away. You want to fucking make him wait for it and shit. Little did I know how long I would end up waiting until we finally fucking did it. Because it only happened like a couple of weeks ago. And it's just like, that was a fucking build for that fucking match. But ultimately, Kevin starts putting the fucking word out that things are kind of turning around for him, right?
Yeah, it started that one. That was cover up. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
The Chris Gerard thing was there.
Sorry.
That's all right. Now it's just the dinosaurs getting killed by the X-Men.
Hilarious.
Kevin starts putting his fucking life together. He gets a decent paying job. Like, apparently some girl gave him a rusty trombone. All these fucking things. And then he starts, I'm like, because I've been yelling at him, he's a really talented drummer. Go fucking get a band. And he joins some local band named King's Petition. And they play with, they played with Scissor Fight a few times now that they're kind of back with a new singer and all that shit. And so things are looking up for Kevin. Season 2 opens, he wins the fucking Ultimate Sacrifice tournament. It's like a hardcore tournament or some shit. I think he beats you in the finals and stuff, right? Eventually, you beat Crawford for the belt. Crawford goes down hard, right? And so now, since everything's going so well for Kevin, you know, Crawford's like, man, I just want to fucking turn heel, right? He's been fucking ultra fucking lily white, fucking white meat baby face, you know, this whole fucking time. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do? And it's like, let's fuck Kevin. All right, it's like, all right, let's do it. So Kevin comes out for this fucking match. This was Kings of War 1, was one of the big pay-per-view, right? This big 5-way match, which this show is significant for because it debuts a guy named the Shadow King. And fucking Brandon Bones called the fucking finish, the end of Game of Thrones, because initially the Shadow King and the whole League of Shadows plan was that everybody that the Shadow King beats gets absorbed into the fucking League of Shadows. Their eyes glow blue, and eventually it was going to spread like a virus throughout the MVWF. Now, the big thing about the Shadow King was that he had maximum attribute points, but for one category, and that was speed, because he's a fucking giant. He also had fucking really glowing Lee press-on nails that I never seemed to get rid of for a long time. I didn't quite know what to do with that. But I gave him, like, when it came to his moves, like, he did moves that were almost supernatural. Like, he was a big dude doing, like, handspring moonsaults and shit from the mat onto dudes. And he had this one move where he could fucking teleport behind motherfuckers.
Oh, like style.
Yeah, like fucking, he'd be getting his ass kicked, the fucking screen goes black, and then whoever he's facing is kind of standing there like, what? And then he just kind of appears like a monster behind them or whatever and shit, right? And this 5-way match, he goes out there and just kicks the fucking shit out of Rock Holly. Fucking, like, big Steiner screwdriver, fucking like the suplex move into the pile driver, fucking tombstones, fucking just head drops one after another. Takes Rock Holly out in like a minute 50 seconds within this 5-way match. Then it becomes like this bloody battle royal. Ultimately, AJ takes him out, which kind of fucking took the steam out of him a little bit as far as him being this thing I had intended for him to do. But again, you know, best laid plans, right? The title match that night is Doyle defending the belt against Kevin Welch. You know, and like I said, man, like, he's got chicks coming out to the ring with him and shit. He's got Candy Sucks from GTA. He's got fucking Hot Asian Wife, who's about to become one of the biggest, probably like this Phase 2's Skinny Wolf. And she's just a manager. And someone else.
It's so bad. She looks like fucking Jackie Onassis.
She does. She got that same
I
skirt.
wanted to punch her in the face so bad.
There's a
last
reason
night.
for it, too.
Nice.
So Kevin comes out, and he's got chicks with him and stuff. And fucking the very first seed is planted for a long storyline with Hot Asian Wife that happens because about 13 minutes in, Doyle hits the humanure, fucking crushes this kid, his dreams are doomed. Hot Asian Wife steps up on the fucking apron, distracts the referee. But for like another like 17 minutes, these two go at it. That Kevin just starts hitting power bombs off the top rope. And that's the thing with Doyle in all of his fucking matches, in particular with Phase 2, is that he's now like, he's adopted this whole fucking MMA thing. You're barefoot with taped feet for a little while. I put some fucking shoes on you for, fucking helped a little bit.
I appreciate it.
Some Irish Pride logos on them and stuff too. And man, he's a fucking warrior every single time, right? But this time it wasn't enough, right? He goes down, and only to be revealed that the next title defense, Hot Asian Wife, was with G-Man Ryan Crawford the whole time. Like, he planted her there to inspire him, to give him the inspiring pussy enough to fucking inspire him to beat Doyle, the guy that Crawford couldn't beat. So, whenever I refer to this on the commentary, it's, he stabbed him in the back, he stabbed him in the heart, he stabbed him in the balls, he stabbed him in the dick, he stabbed him in all of these things, right? And Kevin from that point was just like just deflated,
Just
right?
took the life out of him.
Just took the fucking life. You know, he's still a drummer for the King's Petition. They're doing fairly well. They did a gig up at the fucking, I don't know, Concord Center. It was a real gig.
So they full on tested him. Just almost there.
Yeah.
Never mind.
That's right.
Exactly.
Well, we would learn just
Almost.
we would learn just how important Hot Asian Wife was about to be, because now Crawford would go on this fucking run with her that you just wouldn't fucking believe. Again, that season's tournament was the Super 32 tournament. It wasn't intended to be a secondary title, but it eventually grew into one. But it was like 32 dudes. It was about as big as Canada Cup, only a singles division.
It's a nice belt.
Yeah. And Pat won the fucking tournament eventually, though, once we got to that shit. But Crawford ran into the Shadow King in like the semifinals or some shit and fucking pulled off an upset. Again, with mad help from Hot Asian Wife. You know?
So we're talking, since she's been around, lots of manager shenanigans.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
80s
I mean,
style.
super aggressive, and to contrast to anybody else I'd ever put in at ringside with somebody. And so, like, she's just fucking taking over and shit, right? Crawford's fucking, like, just riding the wave.
Yeah, MVWF got Yoko'd.
Yeah, almost, right? So, during this time, all throughout fucking season 2, one of the guys that was totally absent the entire time was a guy named Dennis the Take a Hitman Hart. He was in season 1. He was a standout in the B1 Climax tournament. He got like, I think probably like 9 points or whatever. When like I think the most points was me at 14. Like he did really well. You know, he didn't fail. But season 2, when I upgraded from 2K18 to 2K19, never got around to making him. So now I had to come up with a fucking reason, because it turns out Dennis lives 10 minutes away from me. So I'm going over there all the time, doing what we do. And suddenly some schemes start being fucking hatched. And I'm like, Dennis, what can we do to get you into the MVWF? You know, like to fucking revitalize your career? He goes, I don't know, man. Things just were fucking so unremarkable before. And I was like, thinking about it, like, well, you've been gone all season 2. What the fuck are we gonna do with you? Because we were coming up on season 3 was coming up pretty soon. And he goes, I don't know, man. Because the Bret the Hitman thing, because he dressed just like Bret Hart, only instead of pink, it's green. You know, he has a face mask that he wears, because I can't really make... Dude, I can make you in 10 minutes. You know? You know what I mean? It's that easy. Dennis...
Sunglasses.
Yeah, it's that fucking easy, right?
He's got that weird thing that comes down on his neck, too.
Well, he's got the face, the cannabinoid infusing mask that makes him, you know, that's supposed to make him pain free, right?
Oh, so it's all sticky and resiny?
Yeah.
Like resin was?
Sure.
Resin, that guy sucks.
So instead of the gas mask, I changed it to the Bane mask from The Dark Knight Rises and stuff like that, right? So now I added about 50 pounds of muscle to him and shit. Like, he's a beast now, right? And he's lurking in the shadows. ManchMania 2 comes around. But the story of ManchMania 2 this time is because, in the meantime, Rock Holly lost to the fucking Shadow King twice. He lost in that 5-way, he lost in the subsequent rematch, he got crushed both times. Guess whose eyes glow blue now?
I was going to say, did he get absorbed?
He got absorbed into the League of Shadows. Pat is part of the League of Shadows.
Yep.
And they're like this trio now, right? They're going after all the belts. The Shadow King took away the fucking control of the book from Brandon Bones, right? Shit is out of fucking control, right? And so now Shadow King basically gets to book ManchMania 2. Pat is undefeated all throughout fucking season 2, in singles, in the singles division. Because I think did they win that big scramble tag at the 20th anniversary show? All right. So anyhow, I think they did, but Pat's got the title shot at Crawford at ManchMania. And Rock Holly is, like, over his head in the League of Shadows. Like, he's overpowered right now. You've never seen him this vulnerable before. And he's not wrestling that much. He's actually hanging out, like, at ringside most of the time, because I'm trying to save him for important stuff, because I don't want him to take any more losses.
He's also got a lot of miles on him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the 2-time surgically repaired neck, which comes up all the fucking time.
Sure.
And the fact that he's never been able to make Brandon Bones submit has also been a fucking B-plot to all of these things whenever we fucking run into each other, which happened quite a bit. But one person decides a very special person made an appearance at an MVWF event. The one person you think could talk Rock Holly out of being in the League of Shadows. The one person Rock Holly loves more than anybody else Tom Brady. I posted this fucking freeze frame, this screenshot of Rock Holly in the background. He looks like he's just turned his head, and all you see is the shoulder and the jersey with the number 12 on it, right? And it was like such a beautiful fucking little tease photo and shit like that for everyone to watch on my Facebook feed. And I'm like, I am fucking so good at booking, right? I am so fucking proud of myself because Rock Holly is now going to put him being in the League of Shadows on the line when he goes one-on-one with Tom Brady at ManchMania. Now, this obviously creates a stir in the media.
Oh, yeah.
And, as you might expect, because, you know, what if he gets fucking hurt? You know?
I could only hope.
That's why he keeps his helmet on.
Exactly.
That's why he keeps his fucking helmet on. Belichick steps in and goes,
I really don't want you to I really don't want you to get hurt.
We're on it.
Yeah, I'm really fucking pissed off right now that you
Where's the path?
downstairs in the kitchen, watch out for the cat.
You have a kitchen toilet?
Yeah, it's right off the sink. So now ManchMania is fucking super built. It's looking fucking good, and
And it's all League of Shadows heavy.
yeah, it's Wicked League of Shadows heavy. Pat fails to win the championship. Tom Brady doesn't beat Rock Holly, but Rock Holly says fuck the League of Shadows anyway.
Sure.
So ostensibly, like, everyone got kind of what they wanted, because I didn't want Tom Brady to beat Rock Holly in this big match, but I also kind of wanted him to get the fuck out of the League of Shadows because he'd been there for a while at this point. So, you know, season 3 starts off, you know, because we're pretty much sticking to the title picture here as far as most of the narrative and stuff. At the end of season 2, He-Man is still the champion, and now he's finally seemingly, like, settled in. Like, he's got some title defenses under his belt, right? Because his first 2 championship reigns went without a successful title defense. Now in his 3rd reign, he's like, well, I run shit now, right? And so, in fact, the funny thing is that right before the Pat match, Kid Christian made a fucking play. Now, Kid Christian, Jimmy Controversy, Local Talent, Turbotron, they were a different class of wrestler because they all had low attribute points. Because, again, I truly believe that attribute points don't guarantee anything. And that was never more evident than when Local Talent with absolute minimum attribute points beat a guy with like 80. That guy, by the way, is in the main event tonight. So he's got a lot of fucking shit. I mean, you want to talk about underdog, right? But I'll get to that later. So, Kid Christian wins the unique opportunity briefcase. And this motherfucker has it for like a long fucking time. Okay? And he just fucking holds back. He keeps losing matches like he always does because he's a jobber. You know, he's got maybe like 40 attribute points. You know, whenever he won a couple of matches in the B1 Climax. He beat Ron Awesome pretty much towards the end. And him and Ron had a pretty great feud where they traded a couple wins. Eventually, Ron finally put him down. But, I mean, it was something where it was like, man, maybe there is something to this kid, Christian. Now, in Season 1, the storyline with this kid, he was a jobber. He had he's got a new stepdad who's making him wrestle, right? This was his story, right? And Mama Christian is a good Christian woman, and she wants the stepdad, you know, to fucking go out there and give my son a wrestling career, you know?
Kick ass for the Lord.
Yeah, kick ass for the Lord and stuff like that because she's a good Christian woman. Now, never mind who Kid Christian's real dad is. Didn't really get into that at that point because this was just something I was like, haha, lower, you know, undercard, right? Something to say about it. And he does okay first season. He gets a couple of wins, better than a lot the other fucking bunch of jobbers can say. And then season 2, before ManchMania 2, he gets the unique opportunity. He holds on to it for all fucking year. Crawford goes for his last title defense before ManchMania. I'm fucking trying to remember who the fuck it was. But it doesn't matter because that same night, like right afterwards, like he's already successfully defended the belt, Kid Christian cashes that fucking thing in. It's the event before ManchMania. Like he almost fucking stole the event. Crawford fucking pulled it out of his ass, you know? Which I think gave him at that point his 3rd title defense. Pat successfully at ManchMania 2 was his 4th. And then season 3 starts, and instead of matching Rock Holly's 5 successful title defenses, he's down by 1 because Rock Holly takes the fucking belt from him, right? And the week before, Rock Holly actually had said something that was actually complimentary to what the guy he refers to as the Karate Man. Like, he refuses to learn Ryan Crawford's real name. So he's like, well, Karate Man, he lost the belt, but he did all right. It was a good match, right? Rock Holly is finally starting to warm up to the MVWF at this point, right?
20 years later.
Yeah. And he's like, because he's actually handing out compliments. I'm like, where are my fucking compliments, you piece of shit? Right? Because I'm the fucking one made you a star. I don't know who Brandon Bones is, right? Now, he's staying away from me at this point. But he's glad to be out of the League of Shadows. Him and G-Man tag team together against me and AJ, and we have, like, one of the best fucking tag team matches that you've ever fucking seen in your life. The idea being was that if they won, because I didn't want to do a 60-minute Iron Man match. I didn't want to do it. Because to me, it ran too much of the risk of, just back and forth. No story being told or anything like that. Just a long series of moves. Like
Like
over
spending
60
an hour watching somebody wrestle in a suit of armor?
Right. Right. I mean, I just didn't have a lot of faith that the game could pull it off.
That was the worst fucking thing I'd ever sat through.
Remind me, what was that?
That was the Iron Man match with him and male nurse Jeremy Love.
Oh, right.
And Ryan was in a suit of armor and refused to take any damage, but was so exhausted from being in a suit of armor that he had no offense. And it was just...
That's right.
Fuck.
Fuck.
And the fact that you were still smoking then.
Yeah.
So you were smoking inside that suit of armor.
Suit of armor, yeah.
So,
I did it to defend someone's honor, too.
Rock Holly and G-Man win the tag team match, and they get their 60-minute Iron Man match. And they proceed to have the greatest match in MVWF history. If you want to go see a match that, will stand up, you will believe me when you see it. And this is when we decided to fucking pull the trigger with Dennis. Because remember, we've been plotting schemes up to this fucking point, right? So right before the match, G-Man always comes out to fucking Check Yourself by Ice Cube. And it's there's the fucking, what was the original group there that was sampled from?
I'll have to hear it.
Right? Fuck. Anyway, so, Crawford's making his entrance. He's got his fucking baseball bat because he's always super fucking paranoid, right? Yeah, everyone tries to fuck me. Dude, he was just as bad as Rock Holly has ever been. And just being a fucking shit disturber, fucking annoying, fucking just doesn't know how to play this game. He doesn't play the cards he's dealt, I told him one time, I said, I want a fucking poker game with 7 deuce. Mm-hmm. Fuck you. You can have the shittiest of shit in your mouth, and you can still win, and make it taste better. Or something. Add ranch. Whatever. But fucking... Dennis comes up from behind him with a fucking steel chair in the middle of the entrance. I'd never done a run-in during the entrance before. Because if you do that, the match is essentially over. Mm-hmm. But I saved a spot on the Universe mode for that match. So it showed Rock Holly and G-Man Ryan Crawford. It just didn't show the belt if you weren't paying close attention. Because that was the next spot over. Mm-hmm. And then during the intro, I just didn't scroll to the right to show that extra one. So I hit it perfectly. So Dennis, wham, hits him with a fucking chair. Crawford's like, what the fuck was that, right? Fucking tries to fight back, no good. Fucking sit out pile driver on the floor, running power bomb on the concrete, like right into the fucking railing. They're still in the entrance area and shit, right? Shit's just going fucking crazy. Fucking, eventually the referee pulls him off him, and now the load screen hits to where, alright, well, we still got a title match to go. And they proceed, like I said, dude, to have the greatest match I've ever fucking seen on a video game. For the first 30...
That's a bold statement.
Yeah. Because you wouldn't have thought that for the first 30 minutes. You would have thought Rock Holly went out there and kicked this kid's ass like no human being has ever had his ass kicked ever before. Remember, going back to their first match against each other, this match ended because Rock Holly did the move he calls Another Way to Die. And it's the running powerbomb, the running throwing powerbomb, that he hit him, that first injured Crawford, because Crawford has very low head stats. So he's very vulnerable in the head. And that's because of this fucking night, right? Well, Rock Holly proceeds to go and do it like 25 fucking times all over the arena, dude. They go off into this fucking corner. He's fucking smashing them like there's this one little area where they can brawl. That's sectioned off. There's like some trash cans out there, a table, usually a sledgehammer, and a chair, and a trash can. Rock Holly does the move and throws him like the entire length of this area into the fucking trash can, into the railing. 1, 2, 3, pin, and like it just starts like he goes on this run, and we're talking like 5 zip. 30 minutes about goes by. Crawford, who's had flashes here and there of maybe working the arm, but no momentum whatsoever, scores 1. And then Rock Holly scores like 2 more. And then Crawford scores like 2 in a row. Like Rock Holly has, he wears like the fucking shoulder tape and stuff on it.
He's got all sorts of tape all over.
Because I mean, he sells his injuries now. Because the older guys all seem to have it. You wear tape all the time. I wear tape because we'll just beat the fuck up.
Miles.
All the fucking time. And Crawford makes this comeback, dude, that you would not fucking believe. And he's within 1 with 2.5 minutes left. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like this is this fucking Rocky comeback. I'm like, is he going to do it? No, he doesn't! Because the question hangs in the air when time finally ran out. Did what Dennis take out of Crawford, was that what caused him to fall behind so far and to be just enough that he took away from him that he couldn't quite make that comeback? And so Crawford's gone for like 6 weeks. And he finally gets him back in the fucking ring at the next pay-per-view. Actually, 2 pay-per-views away. Because he sells this injury for a long time. And Rock Holly goes on to break his own fucking title defense record at 6. But Dennis, now he's just running the fucking table now. He's Mr. Heat at this point. And he goes like 25 minutes with this young kid named Adrian Knight, who was someone on PlayStation who asked to be in the MVWF.
Really?
Yep. Created his own guy because he gave me his name. Could you join the MVWF? He had a notable, he was pretty good in the B1 Climax. He's the only guy to have ever won a 3-on-1 match. Granted, he faced 3 jobbers to do it, but you didn't do it the other day, which is the only other fucking time I tried it, which is the only goddamn reason why I tried it, because it seemed like a fucking given, Adrian Knight was in that match, by the way, but he went 25 minutes with Dennis. And AJ has 2 brothers, which now I have to fucking kind of pivot over to the tag team division for a second. The greatest tag team, unfortunately for you, is the Jackson Boys. Yeah, they're like 3-time tag team champions. They beat the Victory Dojo, Whiteside and Doyle.
Oh, is that when the Jackson Boys, their family?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were from Florida.
Yes. From Jacksonville, the Jackson Boys. There's more excuses to say the word Jackson. But for some reason, Kyle's name is Kyle Empire. Something I've never actually managed to really investigate as to why. But they had been so successful in the tag team division by this point that it was time to maybe give them a shot as a singles. Give them a singles run while being tag team champions. And Dennis, with all the heat that he had, I'm like, all right, I'm going to put him in there with Kyle. The winner gets Rock Holly for a title shot. Who's just, cranking out fucking title defenses at this point. And Kyle beats Dennis. The only loss that Dennis has had in the MVWF. He lost at the New Japan show too, but it's kind of off book with those versus shows. That's another storyline in and of itself too. Like all the federations we fought, we've lost most of them for the first time in our fucking forever. But the last time we fought modern day WWE, we took them 7-zip. We beat New Japan the first time. We lost them the second time. We lost to NXT the first time. We beat them the second time. So it's a little all over the place. We lost to AEW. So it's it's kind of a crowded field with different wrestling federations, which is again one of those things because as you know, the MVWF exists in the same universe that all the wrestling federations do. So they can't help but cross pollinate. And there's going to be a bunch of that tonight, by the way, too.
Nice.
So fucking Kyle was like I think Rock Holly's last successful title defense. Fucking great match. He is a legitimate fucking starting pitcher for one of the local fucking teams around here. Silver something or others in Nashua.
Oh yeah.
Silvernecks or Silvernuts. I don't know. I don't remember that so badly that I just say that he's the starting pitcher for the Boston Baked Beans, which sounds like a fucking baseball team.
Absolutely.
And he uses Roman Reigns' Superman punch, but I call it the fastball punch.
Nice.
When he first started doing this move, that was what the animation was. 2K19 actually put a fucking move on there where he steps into the corner, sets up for a fucking pitch, like he's got a fucking glove on, and then throws the fucking punch like he's throwing the ball. Fucking amazing, right? But not enough to put Rock Holly down. Sorry, see ya. Dennis, I think, gets the next title shot and fucking beats Rock Holly. Crawford is furious. All you do is suck Dennis's dick. All you do is go over there and get stoned and fuck up his day and fucking fuck up my day and fuck up everything that I'm doing because my career has gone to shit since Dennis came back. But like I said, Dennis's career was so unremarkable. But the fucking, as soon as that fucking angle before the title match fucking played out the way that it did, this kid had the fucking rocket strapped to him. He's winning matches. He is brutal. His fucking matches are so fucking tough.
So once you turned heel,
Yeah.
Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just fucking beat. Dennis is not a popular guy. Why? Why? Because fucking, by this point, AJ had beaten the fucking Shadow King for the bookership, and now AJ is fucking booking the show. And he didn't like what Dennis did after the fucking the Iron Man match, because Dennis, I guess we'll have to watch this before we broadcast. Dennis is sitting in front of my TV in my living room, and the Zapruder film is playing on the TV with some sad piano music playing, and he cuts this promo where he's like, "I'm just taking it in, that moment before a man's hopes and dreams are taken away from him in a single moment," and just off to the right you can see JFK's head just go. The original idea, and this is actually the first time I'm saying this on any MVWF broadcast, was originally it was supposed to be like footage from 9/11 of people falling out of the building. And he's supposed to look at it, he goes, "Look, that's you! Crawford, that's you! Your whole fucking career." And I'm like, Dennis, could we not end up in Guantanamo Bay, please? Please, right? Because I already did an Obama-Trump match.
Is that what got you kicked off YouTube?
The first time, yes. But it wasn't the match that got me kicked off. It was the fact that Obama came out to 99 Problems. and Jay-Z is a very powerful man who has his fingers in the
Yes, he is.
algorithms.
Yeah.
So
Yes, he is.
that got me fucking dumped. The 2 other episodes have been dumped too. I think one of them was a Sturgill Simpson song that I think I was having like Kyle or one of the Jacksons were coming out to. Cause I don't know if you got around to listen to that record yet.
Yeah.
But it's
I have.
fucking super
Yeah,
fucking awesome.
it's good.
And Best Clockmaker on Mars
Mhm.
was like, when I watched that Watchmen show on HBO, I was like, why the fuck isn't this song in there? And it's that one about him taking DMT instead.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. So that song got me kicked off, and then there was one I don't know what the fuck it was. I think I was fairly much in, because eventually what ended up happening is I just eliminated entrances during like the regular, like during Danger Zone, which was a regular show, or Ground Zero, which was the other show. And Danger Zone was all season 1, Ground Zero was all season 2, and then I alternated on season 3. And so fuck, where was I? So where am I? Shit. So AJ, I'm gonna rewind to AJ a little bit. Yeah, the Zapruder film. Yeah, AJ did not like this video at all. Like legit. Like he's like, I don't fucking like Dennis right now, man. Because he goes, I think that was in bad taste.
Ooh.
Like right, like
Hurt feelings.
yeah. Well, we were on the podcast. He's saying this shit. I'm like, oh shit, right? Like AJ, I had to kind of pull things out of him and stuff like that because he was not a natural fit on the microphone, at least immediately. He's a baseball nerd, so he's got really good handle of like statistics and stuff, and like he coaches like little league teams and shit like that. So like, you know, he understands, you know, the numbers and shit like that, and he's actually fucking really provided a lot of stuff like that. But character stuff has not really been his strong point.
So he's an analytics guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Which is what the MVWF
But
needed.
in this rare case, like he came out with like this, I don't like this shit, right? So he's playing Eddie Stank at this point, right? And he's like, me and AJ are the booking committee, you know, kayfabe, and he goes, we don't like what fucking Dennis did. So Dennis didn't get something that he was supposed to get, but it kept him a little longer out of the title picture and stuff. But eventually, it was just inevitable. You know what? I think it was the Kyle match. Like, he forced him into the Kyle match to do a number one contenders, whereas I was gonna fucking push him right into the title picture. You know, just in case Crawford came back, and then Dennis might be champion at that point, which creates a different scenario. So I'm not repeating, you know, how we just went with him and Rock Holly for fucking 2 matches and then a 60-minute Iron Man match. But Dennis came back and he's just like, look, man, he goes, you know, during season 2, I was gone with an injury. I never fucking heard from you. It was supposed to be new generation versus old generation. And you start hanging out with this fucking giant prick who's fucking hanging out with Brandon Bones all this fucking time. And he goes, and I'm watching fucking MVWF TV and I see you stab our friend Kevin in the balls and in the back and in the heart and in the dick hole and all the fucking places that you stab a motherfucker like what he did. And he goes, you're gonna be fucking upset because I jacked you before the biggest match of your career? Fuck you. like he went out there and believed every fucking thing, every reason that he had to do it and stuff. It was beautiful. And now, like, in season 3, dude, I am just, like, bathing in the fucking, just how rich the fucking story is at this point, you know? And I'm fucking loving every second of it. And so now, it's season 3, and I see that fucking 2K20 has shit the bed so fucking hard. AEW hasn't announced a fucking video game yet, although they're kind of married to the idea of bringing back the game engine from the No Mercy game, from the 64 games, which would be pretty fucking awesome. Honestly, I think this, now that I've got the fucking levels and all the meters and shit like that on the game fairly well settled down, I think this game probably has a lot more depth than that game does. But man, like, still, the No Mercy game was so fucking hard to top for all the quality matches that it gave us. Now I have a fucking record of it. And I'm telling you that one of those matches was one of the fucking greatest matches I've ever fucking seen.
That was that Iron Man.
Yeah, it was that Iron
Man. And that's
Man
on
match.
there.
Yeah, it's on the YouTube channel. Firestorm. I mean, that show is so well built up, you know, and all the shows prior to it and stuff like that, all the pieces were, you know, I'm fucking planting the seeds for Dennis to fucking come back. Crawford's never going to see it coming, which was the point, you know. And now, here we are. We've gotten up to the end now and stuff, and I'm like, I want to do an Elimination Chamber match. I want to blow it open for everybody to have a chance to potentially come away at the champion here. And Rock Holly shits on the idea. He goes,
what's that event called?
Firestorm. MVWF Firestorm. It's got a thumbnail of the moment. Because at that point, it was right around that time that I figured out how to make my own thumbnails. Because I found like some studio suite thing that you can use in conjunction with the YouTube app. So I got, I have a much more better idea of like the statistics of things and stuff, and it inspired me to start sending the Firestorm link everywhere. And up until recently, it was the most viewed event in MVWF history. It's topped off at like 120 views.
Nice.
The New Japan show has it's like almost 180 right now. Which is fucking sucks because it's not an MVWF event really, you know? Mm-hmm. And we lose. Fuck. So more people have seen my fucking federation lose to the Japanese federation. So I'm not pleased. But now I gotta do ManchMania. New Japan did their Wrestle Kingdom this year because they've managed to recruit guys like Jericho to do their show and stuff, and really Wrestle Kingdom has taken off in a way that they haven't seen in years. Because like the aughts were really bad for that federation, because they got real like fake MMA about things because Pride was so big over there. Mm-hmm. So they got back to kind of like their pro wrestling roots and shit. And now they did a 2-night show for Wrestle Kingdom this year. And I'm like, that's a fucking great idea. So that's why Friday was what it was, which was the more Phase 2 style show, and this one's gonna be more have a more of an old school theme. It's not quite a reunion show, but it's got a lot of guys that you know.
Nice.
On it, you know, like Ron and the Wolf and Doyle and me and shit like that, right? And Pat. So like, but with a little bit peppered in and shit like that, because you know, you do have a title shot tonight, and I'm gonna fucking get to it here because we're getting on with the fucking podcast. But so I had to make up my mind about what I wanted to do and how. Well, there's my fucking phone. Fuck. 10 minutes late. An hour ago, whatever it was. So just to run through it real quick here. So Baltimore, Bones was mostly allied with Dennis and stuff, but all I ever did was lose for them. The World War IV event, which, yes, was a shout out to Strange Brew. That's where Rock Holly lost the belt to Dennis, if I'm not mistaken. And then AJ. Yeah, I need to talk about AJ so I can get to Doyle. AJ has had kind of a middling career in the MVWF. He's had a lot to do with it, but it's funny, like when you work at that administrative level, it really fucking hurts your career. Because, dude, think about that B1 Climax tournament. If I was beating guys one after another and those were all title defenses, I would have broken everybody's fucking record, phase 1 or phase 2. Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's why I said it was the worst thing to happen. I didn't get a single fucking successful title defense off of it, but my record during my title reign is fucking, second to none. Like, one loss in, 15 fucking matches.
Wow.
It was ridiculous. So I'm like, all right. So, AJ, though, we were tag team champions for a little bit. We lost to you guys for the tag belts, which is why you guys were tag team of the year on year 1. He was also wrestler of the year in season 2. Wrestler of the year. Nice. Because of the quality of his matches, which was one of those slap in the faces to Crawford, because he was champion throughout most of season 2.
Better record, better wrestler.
Yeah, better wrestler. And but again, all of those were going to be seeds to eventually when those two were going to fucking reconcile. Which, but Doyle starts getting on this fucking run here where he is just amazing. Like, you went to the finals with Pat in the Super 32. Every fucking match he should have lost, every single one of them. Eventually, you lost in the finals. But there were 5 matches prior to that where Doyle was just fucking pulling it out of his ass. And it started to become kind of your character and shit. I mean, out of nowhere, fucking small packages and shit like that was fucking pulling it off. AJ runs into him and...
world-class grappler.
Yeah.
In your punk rock shorts.
Yeah.
AJ has taken a shot where he was, in his bookership, awarded himself, in the same night, a shot at the Super 32 belt and the world belt against Rock Holly.
Nice.
Right?
He'd be the king.
Yeah.
Absolute power.
Absolute power fucking was fucking absolute, was it not? He failed in both. His match against Rock Holly, he actually got Rock Holly to submit to his bear hug in the first fall. Remember how knock the motherfucker out matches were kind of one of the touchstone matches of the MVWF? This time around, it was what we call a fight pit match, which was my attempt to try and get as close to UFC as I possibly could. So it's just submissions and knockouts, right, but inside of a steel cage, and it's 2 out of 3 falls. I just fought Trump in the same kind of match. Trump. And I told my sister that, fuck it, I'm going to go to Guantanamo Bay. And she goes, well, at least the weather will be nice.
That's a good point.
Yeah. But Doyle now runs into AJ, who's managed to fucking pry the Super 32 belt out of Pat's hands, right? And Doyle beats him for the fucking belt. And now he's the first fucking Triple Crown champion in the MVWF. In fact, you're still the only Triple Crown champion. Tag Team of the Year, Wrestler of the Year, Triple Crown champion, fucking tournament finalist and stuff. You're still trying to make that 43-second thing go away, but it's been a long time since then at this point, And you were just as fucked in that match with the Kevin match with Hot Asian Wife as anybody else. Oh, I can't fucking believe I forgot to tell you this. Hot Asian Wife defected to Monday Night Raw.
Oh.
In real life. I downloaded her off the Community Creations on a whim. I'm give me hot chicks. Just give me hot chicks to stick out with Kevin for his match with Doyle. And Hot Asian Wife, all right, sure, whatever. There was Candy Sucks and whoever the other fucking, the redhead was, right? And I'm like, this is awesome, right? And she got to be this fucking awesome character and shit like that, where she was interfering. She eventually left fucking Crawford for the Shadow King. She disappeared after the Shadow King, where fucking Crawford was accusing him of sending her to Malaysia to be raped or something like that. And I'm like, I'm not doing a rape angle. We've seen how that goes. For anybody listening.
I've seen the rape angle.
Yeah. Not doing that, right? So, anyhow, fucking, but AJ's, she got mentioned on fucking, she got taken away from him and stuff, with the, he's like, I want Hot Asian Wife back. I'm like, you can't have her back. She's on Monday Night Raw. It's a contractual thing. It's an administrative thing you wouldn't understand. She's been talking. I tell them this is like right around like October or so. I'm like, if she's not mentioned on WWE TV, and I'll fucking hear about it, even if I don't happen to catch the show, you can have her back by Thanksgiving. Didn't fucking matter. Why? Because Hot Asian Wife started showing up with Dennis. And that's why she started wearing the fucking Jackie O outfit to refer to the video that he did.
Back into the left.
Yeah.
Back into the left, right? So, again, just the storylines are just absolutely fucking, like, brownie mix rich at this fucking point, right? And so now it's, we're on the road to ManchMania and stuff, right? But we got to figure out who's going to be the Super 32 title, right? Because now, Rock Holly lost the belt in the last scheduled championship match before ManchMania, and we needed to settle it up with him. And AJ wins the fucking title back in a knock the motherfucker out match, right? And this is the only time, really, that I've had rules that were unique like this to produce this result, because the end of this match was absolutely unfucking forgettable. AJ puts Doyle up on the fucking top rope, and it's again another Doyle match where he's taking that fucking shit kicking. And he's trying to make that fucking comeback, and AJ puts him up and sets him up for the superplex. A giant superplex, right? And he superplexes him, and the fucking ring collapses and is fucking destroyed. Doyle is fucking declared he's out, and AJ fucking, because he manages to get to his fucking feet. The only fucking time. What a fucking visual to end what was supposed to be kind of a humdrum episode.
Really wrecked the ring?
Wrecked the fucking ring. Destroyed it. Yep.
That's very cool.
That was the finish of the show. I'm like, fucking yes, right? Like, again, this game handing me things on a fucking platter that I could never fucking foresee coming, right? You got to sell that now. You're injured. Yeah, I mean, I text him like, dude, you're out. You're on the DL. Sorry. And he, all right.
I'll be serving.
Yeah, yeah. But of course, you know what that means, though, is that's just the seed plant for the fucking heroic comeback.
Mm-hmm.
And so time goes by, and Doyle comes back to the fucking Royal Rumble. Right? Now, I've decided that with 2 nights, 2 championship matches for every champion, the winner, the Dennis is going to defend the belt at ManchMania because he beat Rock Holly for the belt. It's going to be, unfortunately, his first title defense. The tag belts are fought over in the meantime. The Super 32, I think, is defended against Pat because he's kind of like, he was the first champion. So fucking, he got held off again by Munson, the Beast of Bourbon, who was my brother-in-law,
Okay.
who also won the fucking tag belts with Dennis, and now they have won all the fucking gold going into Friday.
Yes.
Right? And so now the fucking darkness hangs over the MVWF, because the most evil motherfucker, and both of these guys have a fucking parallel to one another, because Munson's fucking career, and he was in a monkey suit in season 1, and nobody fucking took him seriously. He just got thrown out of a few battle royals and shit. That's about all he got to do. Like, his career was even shittier than Dennis's. But Dennis's was inexcusable that he fucking got left off of the transfer from 2K18 to 2K19. Munson, not so much. I mean, my brother-in-law is not a wrestling fan, but all his friends are. So, congratulations, you're a wrestler. And so now, like, he's just coming out. He looks a lot cooler and stuff. He was, last time I had seen him before that, he was sporting a big kind of graying beard and shit, which is only going to get grayer now that he's about to have children.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. And so now all his moves are like the Baby Maker, all of that shit, right?
That makes way more sense after watching that event last week.
Yeah. So Munson, the Beast of Bourbon, who apparently is not going to quit drinking just because he became a parent. He's doing pretty well for himself, and now, but there's 2 championship matches on each night, so I got to figure out who's going to get what. So the Jacksons, they win the #1 contenders match for night 2. Dennis and fucking Munson defeat Tom Brady and Gronk in a tag team match because they Tom Brady got covered, but he had his fucking hand on the bottom rope because fucking Dennis had eclipsed the referee because he's such a big guy that he couldn't see the fuck over, right? So they're just fucking shitbags going into the finals here, right?
Somebody needs to teach Tom Brady how to do a move in the corner.
Yeah, because he just stands there. Again, but that shit really didn't start happening until 2K20 came out. So it's probably the fucking Apple controversy and shit, like, oh, your old shit sucks, buy the new stuff, because now your old shit sucks.
Yeah.
But the new shit sucks worse. That shit didn't do that before. And on top of that, like, my fucking PlayStation had started getting long in the tooth. I defragged that fucking thing, like, last week. I finally figured out how. And so now, like, the New Japan show, if you watch the Crawford Rock Holly tag team match and stuff, they look like they're wrestling underwater. So whatever was fucking slowing down my PlayStation and shit got cleared up in time for the fucking show day before yesterday, which was awesome.
Nice.
And so now the winner of the Rumble will get the title match on the first night, and the winner of the Elimination Chamber in the semi-main event on night 1 of ManchMania was going to go on to get the title shot on night 2, which is where we're at now. The fucking Elimination Chamber fucked me over, and boy did I bitch about it on the broadcast, because I selected the order. I'm like, no, I'm fucking booking this thing. This is going to go my way. Because A, Rock Holly was right in his argument to say, hey, look, I'm not getting a rematch for the belt, at least give me the last entry. And I didn't have any fucking problem with that. So it was supposed to be Rock Holly, Crawford, AJ, El Hamburguesa, Nick the Destroyer, and the Shadow King, right? And the fucking game just randomized it on me anyway. So, so with every fucking complaint that I ever took from anybody ever in the MVWF, just keep in mind, the more things change, the more they fucking stay the same, because when I finally got to the rematch with Crawford after ManchMania 1, it was 2 out of 3 falls, no holds barred, street fight or whatever, and fucking I got my first fucking tap out on him while we were tangled in the ropes. Referee calls it anyway. We're brawling outside the ring of, again, another fucking classic. Because it's a fucking great fucking match, as I always do. I have the fucking great matches. But I got to win one. But you wouldn't have known it, because we're outside the fucking ring. And with the span of 10 fucking seconds, enough time frames to get 2 tap outs to where you say, not only did this guy fucking win the match, he flipped the fucking switch on Brandon Bones, who was up by 1 at that point. And the referee called neither of these tap outs because they were outside the ring. I think what I neglected to do was turn Falls Count Anywhere on.
So you didn't tell the ref?
I didn't think that's what I did. So the referee just stood there, paid off, because now that's how I have to play it. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Even after many years away from this, right? And I'm like, I can't fucking do this anymore. It's like, because there is a way to just let the fucking computer book everything.
Yeah.
And it would just, I guess you could probably tailor it to a certain extent. I don't understand it enough to truly get it to fucking do what I do, to make it compelling, And so I stole one from fucking Crawford, dude. The fucking big rematch after all that fucking time. And Crawford's now, like, this is how he plays his fucking shit, dude. I quit. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going to watch anymore. I don't care anymore. Fuck you. All you do is fuck me, and all you do is suck Dennis's dick. Which, by the way, the old complaint, just if you want to Mad Libs it, you suck whose dick? Rock Holly's dick. You suck this person.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? By the way, Ron Awesome and the Skinny Wolf did continue their feud through seasons 1 and 2.
I would hope so.
They fought each other in a couple of Fight Pit matches. They were the ones that actually put the Fight Pit match on the map. And they fought each other a couple of times where one's career was on the line, but not the other, and neither one of them could eliminate the other. And both matches ended, as you might expect, with a fucking hard-ass fucking brass knuckle shot.
Nice.
Because, of course, the infamous 27 fork stabs to the face, and then the one fucking brass knuckle shot ends the match for Ron Awesome. And, of course, the rematch after that where he broke Ron's neck, and all of that shit has been in the undercard and stuff. And, man, during the first 2 seasons did they hold it up for me. Because the undercard was weak at first. Because, remember, Season 1, I knew nothing about understanding about the meters and setting the settings to and massaging it to a way. So fucking matches were ending with, like, a suplex.
Oh.
So, like, it took me a while. So you can probably, if you want to rewatch a lot of the stuff or watch some of the stuff for the first time, you can let some of those early episodes go a little bit. But if you're a completist and you get all the character, you'll get all the character stuff eventually anyway. Because you'll understand who everyone is based off their win-loss records and what they're going through and yada, 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 right? So, here we are, last fucking Friday and shit like that. It's Dennis versus fucking Doyle, which was fucking the first time the two of them have ever fucking faced each other. To me, it's an accomplishment because I legitimately did resuscitate Dennis's career. You know, I got the fucking hero spot from Doyle and stuff like that after the fucking ring collapse, and he wins the Royal Rumble. He got to get he got to pay back AJ by eliminating him last, which was just fucking beautiful to me. Originally, what it was supposed to be though is that I took all the fucking jobbers and I was gonna go out number 1. And I was just gonna throw fucking jobbers out so I could fucking break the at least the elimination record. I was out like second, because that's what Brock did this year at the Rumble. So it was like he went out, I'm gonna go out there and go number 1 and stuff, and that's exactly how it played out for him. And eventually, the guy they wanted to make that day fucking eliminated Brock, so he had credit to spend. I had no credit to spend. I was out of there and shit, right? And so it's like, all right, well, if it's not going to be that, maybe Rock Holly will win it. He's won 2 30-man Rumbles in Phase 2. I mean, Rock Holly's credentials, 2 Rumbles. He holds the first and second place record, which he's tied with Crawford for the most title defenses. So in total, he's got more title defenses than anybody. He's the wrestler of the year, and with a stat, subtracted from, the rest of the history and stuff, or even certain people being subtracted from the rest of history. And then also adding Rock Holly's singular history in Phase 1, he gets to call himself the greatest of all time. And boy, do I fucking hear about it. This motherfucker gets on my fucking text thread and just goes, go ahead, say it. Say thank you. Thank me for being in the MVWF. And you know what I do?
Thank him.
I say thank you, Rock Holly, for being in the MVWF. Because I don't get to say it, motherfucker, at all. But I beat Trump.
You beat Trump.
I beat Trump. You beat Trump. I beat Trump, and I fucking ran out there the other day with Stephanie McMahon in her panties and shit like that, and she came out at ringside with me, which is a big plot point today, by the way. So pay attention. Anyway, so that's the fucking. Let me just run down the card real quick. So it is night 2 at ManchMania. The opening match is a 20-man Royal Rumble featuring the likes of Pink Eye, who won the 20-man Rumble last year at the ManchMania. The opening match is Rob Gronkowski, who will face Tom Brady in the opening match because they did not win the tag belts. MC Honky Lips in the house. The match after that is, since the feud with Ron and the Wolf has finally gotten settled, they've become a tag team called Awesome Wolf.
Oh.
Tough name.
Yep, they will be facing the VWA, Uppercut and Fisticuffs.
Ace and Gary?
Yep.
What year is this?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's the battle of the stepdads tonight as Paul Jobber faces Trevor from GTA 5 and Ron Supreme, who was the stepdad in Season 3. Because he needed something to do. Rock Holly will face Brandon Bones in a 30-minute iron brawl where anything fucking goes. MC Honky Lips, who has recently taken his shit and left the League of Shadows, will go one-on-one with his former charge, the Shadow King. And they are going to face each other in a no-holds-barred match. So there's not a lot of rules tonight. Right after that,
should be.
Yep. Kid Christian is going to finally be told who his real dad is. World Tag Team titles on the line. The Amosexuals of Dennis the Take a Hitman Hart and Munson the Beast of Bourbon. The Tag Team Champions will face the Jackson Boys, the greatest tag team in the MVWF. The Tag Team of the Year in Season 2. Probably the Tag Team of the Year in Season 3. The Super 32 title. This was originally scheduled, I mentioned it at the end of Night 1, that it was going to be Kevin Welch, Enormous Genitals Kevin Welch, the drummer for King's Petition, was supposed to face AJ the Giant, who's had a great Super 32 year, but instead I'm going to open it up to some other people because they needed to get onto the card. So, the legend, Phase 1 champion forever, Ryan Doyle, will face El Hamburguesa,
Just hold the button there and go.
and Kevin Welch will defend the title against those 3
Try and
guys.
hold it kind of straight down because it will come up and down.
Now, in the main event, the most unlikely of challengers, the only person in the MVWF who's a real person to never really get any singles shine, was the Destroyer Nick Jackson. And he won the Elimination Chamber on Friday night.
When it's really hot, you get a fucking smoker. Keep that straight down, because the oil's all going to go in.
I think all the vape is going to spore in my mouth, too. Here, take this away from me. You've never...
The couch collapsed.
Fuck. This has been the rundown.
Killed him.
For any of you long-time fans.
All of a sudden, it's 2000. We're back in Cricket Creek.
Yeah. I'm gonna play the theme song.
That one, because I just put it in, let it heat up a little. Just hold the button down. It'll turn green.
Keep your colors to yourself.
Oh, yeah, I forgot your colorblind. Watch you ball.
Holy shit. So, Nick won. Fuck. Dizzy.
Cannonball.
So, Nick's got the title shot, folks. Thank you for joining us. Good night. We'll be back with the first part of ManchMania in just a moment.
Oh, you're podcasting right now?
Yes.
Oh.
Alright, so,
Then you ruined it.
Damn it. But there's no red light. On air?
Jesus.
Yeah, or is that just sex? Sorry.
Yeah, both.
well, this shit is way stronger than my weed.
Oh, yeah, this shit's, you only need like 2 of these.
Fucking A, dude. Alright. Could
Who
you...
else is coming?
Just you three. Yeah. Could you carry this down?
Cigarette before this kicks off.
That's a good idea.
Sorry, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go right past you.
We're gonna grab a butt before all the physical activity starts.
I just watched my match. I didn't expect it to go that long. I finally.
It was a good fucking match, dude.
Yeah. Kinda stole it at the end. That's right side. There's only one not bleeding, just on my knuckles.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it is cool.
Beat down bash. You wanna get fucking thrown out of?
Really?
Yeah.
That was 98.
Yeah? That's when they threw me out of, so I took my sweatshirt off, walked back around, came to the front door.
Fuck that Coke bottle.
Yeah, he's on. You threatened to beat up the cop.
I didn't threaten anybody. I just told them not to touch.
Don't fucking touch me.
Brandon, you coming out?
No, I'm gonna set the show up.
Alright.
Nobody moves.